Katy Perry, an American pop singer, first sought to break into the music industry with a gospel CD. Her image had shifted dramatically by the time of her 2008 breakthrough single I Kissed a Girl, from One of the Boys, and she went on to top the charts with the follow-up albums Teenage Dream, Prism, and Witness. Perry is also well known for her performance at the 2015 Super Bowl halftime show, her marriage to comedian Russell Brand, and her appointment as an American Idol judge. Katy Perry was given birth. Catherine Elizabeth Hudson was born in Santa Barbara, California on October 25, 1984. Fans may be astonished to learn that the artist who wrote I Kissed a Girl about sexual experimentation grew up in a fairly traditional environment. Her parents are both preachers, and they forbade her from listening to rock or mainstream music. The only things I was allowed to listen to were the Sister Act 1 and 2 soundtracks, Perry explained to Entertainment Weekly. She and her two siblings were also barred from watching cable channels like MTV and VH1. Perry began singing classes at the age of 9 and learned to play the guitar when she was 13. She began piercing her own nose at this time to fight against her strict upbringing. She quickly grew interested in pursuing a musical career. Perry traveled to Nashville with her mother to record Katy Hudson, a gospel album that was released in 2001. It literally reached maybe 100 people, and then the label went bankrupt, Perry told Entertainment Weekly. Perry was exposed to different musical influences as a teenager. One of her friends introduced her to Queen's music, which she still enjoys. "I'm very inspired by Freddie Mercury and how flamboyant and theatrical he was," she told WWD. She worked hard in high school to be her own person, refusing to confine herself to one social circle. "I was a hopper. I hung out with the rockabilly crew, the rapper wannabes, and the funny kids," she told 17 magazine. Perry completed her GED and relocated to Los Angeles to work with producer and composer Glenn Ballard, who had previously worked with Christina Aguilera and Alanis Morissette. She was only 17 years old at the time, and being on her own was difficult for her. "It was 5 years of living in LA with no money, writing bad checks, selling my clothes to make rent, and borrowing money," she explained to 17. Perry, too, had a succession of setbacks before landing her big break. She and Ballard were unable to find a record label ready to sign them, and her 2004 collaboration with music producers turned performers The Matrix was cancelled just before its release. Perry finally signed with Capitol Records in 2007 after 3 record negotiations fell through. Songs and albums? One of the Boys. Following the November 2007 release of the single You're So Gay, which drew Madonna's attention, Perry's career took off with her following effort, I Kissed a Girl. In the summer of 2008, the song topped the charts, propelling Perry's album, One of the Boys, into the Billboard Top 10. Hot and Cold, the follow-up single, also fared well. Perry became well known for her theatricality, which earned her a Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. She played I Kissed a Girl with a large tube of lip balm on the Warped Tour, citing a lyric in the song. Perry has also leapt into a life-size cake and performed in a variety of outrageous ensembles. She described her approach as Lucille Ball meets Bob Mackie, telling Esquire, "It's all about innuendo. I want everyone to get the joke, but I also want them to ponder it for a moment." Perry debuted her own acoustic special on MTV in 2009. Katy Perry, MTV Unplugged, the show's soundtrack, was released around the same time. The song Teenage Dream. Picking up where she left off, Perry released California Girls, a new single with Snoop Dogg, in May 2010. The single soared to the top of the charts, paving the way for the studio album that accompanied it, Teenage Dream. Perry's subsequent songs, Teenage Dream, Firework, E.T. and Last Friday Night, TGIF, all followed in the footsteps of California Girls, making Perry, after Michael Jackson, the only artist to have 5 #1 hits from a single album. Teenage Dream, The Complete Confection, a new edition of her breakthrough album, was published in 2012. With 2013's Prism, Perry continued to dominate the music charts with numerous new songs, including the popular singles Part of Me and Wide Awake. The album's opening single, Roar, reached #1, and her collaboration with Juicy J, Dark Horse, also spent several weeks at the top, putting Perry above Mariah Carey for the most total weeks with a #1 hit, 46. This Is How We Do, the album's 5th and final single, performed well as well. Witness. Witness, Perry's latest studio album, was released in June 2017, just a few months after the release of Chained to the Rhythm, featuring Skip Marley. Witness released at number 1, earning the artist her third consecutive number 1 album. Despite the announcement of the accompanying Witness, the tour, which is set to run from September 2017 to August 2018, the album's sales decreased in the following weeks. Her previous 3 albums had notched up sales of over 1 million copies. Witness had a very small sum of 840,000 sales as of January 2018, up a cumulative 17 million. By 2019, the musician had returned with new music, beginning with her collaboration with Zedd on 365. She subsequently collaborated with Daddy Yankee and Snow on a remix of Con Calma, followed by the release of her new solo track, Never Really Over, in May. Judge on American Idol. Perry was revealed as the first judge for the revival of American Idol in May 2017. She was then joined by Luke Bryan, R&B and pop musician Lionel Richie, and Ryan Seacrest, who agreed to return as host. Perry previously appeared as a guest judge on Idol in 2009, replacing Paula Abdul. She had turned down opportunities to perform on other singing competition series, such as The X Factor, since then. During the 2-part premiere of Season 16 in March 2018, the pop star made waves for her behavior. At one point, she fell while dancing on stage in high heels, and at another, she smooched a shy contestant who said he was saving his first kiss for someone special, drawing the ire of many on social media. Perry later returned for Seasons 17 and 18 with Bryan, Richie, and Seacrest. Halftime show at the Super Bowl. Perry was the featured artist for the Super Bowl 49 halftime show on February 1, 2015. Along with guest appearances by Lenny Kravitz and Missy Elliott, the show was noteworthy for the seemingly mismatched choreography of 2 dancers dressed as sharks while Perry sang Teenage Dream. Overall, 118.5 million people watched the performance, making it the most watched Super Bowl halftime show ever. Infringement of Dark Horse copyright. In 2014, composers Marcus Gray, Emmanuel Lambert, and Chike Ojukwu filed a lawsuit alleging that Perry's smash Dark Horse plagiarized the trio's Christian rap song Joyful Noise, which was published under Gray's stage name, Flame, in 2009. Perry, her 5 acknowledged co-writers, and the 4 corporations that released and marketed Dark Horse were all found guilty for copyright infringement by a federal jury in Los Angeles in July 2019. Perry and her associates were compelled to pay $2.78 million in restitution the following month. The conviction, however, was overturned on appeal in March 2020, with a federal judge ruling that the contested element of Dark Horse, an 8-note ostinato that runs throughout the song, was not distinctive enough to be protected by copyright regulations. Movies and other activities. Katy Perry, Part of Me, 2012, an autobiographical documentary about the singer, featured behind-the-scenes footage and clips of young Perry, as well as her dazzling live performances. She also voiced Smurfette in The Smurfs, 2011, and The Smurfs 2, 2013, and appeared as herself in Zoolander 2, 2016. Perry also established her own music label, Metamorphosis Music, as a subsidiary of Capitol in 2014. In 2016, the label changed its name to Unsub Records. Perry became a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador late in the year after visiting Madagascar on behalf of UNICEF in April 2013. Prince Charles of the United Kingdom appointed her as an ambassador of the British Asian Trust in February 2020. Perry's relationship with British comedian Russell Brand made news in 2009. They got engaged over the New Year's holiday while on a trip to India, and they married in a traditional Hindu wedding on October 23, 2010. The wedding included a procession of camels, elephants, and horses, as well as fire jugglers, snake charmers, dancers, and musicians, according to the Times of India. Their marriage, however, was short-lived, as Brand filed for divorce in December 2011. Perry has had romantic relationships with musicians John Mayer and Diplo, as well as actor Orlando Bloom. She announced her engagement to Bloom on February 15, 2019, with an Instagram snapshot of her flower-shaped ring. Perry made another surprise revelation shortly after midnight on March 5 by displaying a baby bulge at the end of her new video for Never Worn White. Taylor Swift fight. Perry and Taylor Swift, who both dated John Mayer, broke up when Perry allegedly tried to steal some of Swift's tour dancers. Perry's song Swish Swish seems to be about the conflict. I think it's a great anthem for people to use when someone's trying to hold you down or bully you, Perry added. I think Swish is a liberation from all the negative that doesn't serve you. Perry ended their rivalry on May 8, 2018, by offering an olive branch. Literally, she sent Swift a real olive branch, with the remark, "I've been doing some reflecting on past miscommunication and hurt feelings between us.